This is Rightly Used with Adam and Karen.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Lightly Used, where you will listen to me, Karen, and my lovely co-host Adam talk all things tat, bollocks, Johnny Turnip, and Bibliotat. Welcome, Adam. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, Maurice Stewart.
That definitely didn't come off as well as I wanted it to, but never mind. I made the effort.
But yeah, that's exactly what we've got coming up today. Lightly used news, courtesy of Tim Butters at the Abergavenny Chronicle. Got some featured tat. We're going to try and work out what we've each brought to show off. Part 5 of Nessie Hunt, the 1986 board game Karen got for a tenner from a charity shop. And it's my choice of book to end the show in this edition of Bibliotat.
And I think actually this might be the last part of Nessie Hunt.
Spoilers!
Oh, sorry. I am a spoiler queen. I'm really sorry. It's never intentional, and I always upset myself when I do it. But yeah.
Confessions from the Channel 84 group chat.
Shush.
What spoilers? What was it?
Shush. I don't even know if Tom's listened to it yet, so I still can't say.
Oh yeah, it was Rob's emergency trick.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good episode too.
I really enjoyed it. So you've been getting our Studio 2 ready.
I have, yes, I have had an Amazon basket full of tech and bits of equipment, probably increasing in size over the last 2 months. And the day after payday this month, I thought, do you know what? Sod it. I'm just going to bite the bullet. I'm going to spend the money, invest in the podcast, invest in ourselves, and also make it good for us to have 2 bases to record from. For good reasons, as you pointed out earlier, because I know your tat shelves.
So we're not recording directly in front of everything I've got to offer for the show.
Yeah, at least we're tat adjacent in my living room, whereas like we are sat directly opposite your tat shelves here. And you've had a move around of things, so there are things that have appeared on your shelf that have probably been there years and I have not seen before.
There's been a rejig.
So yeah, but anyway, Studio 2... Tap Point 2 is on the go. Mixers arrived. New microphones coming tomorrow. And yeah, we'll set it up next weekend and have a play.
Get us tooling up.
I know, yeah.
Sounding all professional and everything.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes. In preparation for this episode, which I very rarely do preparation for, there are some things that I would like to bring up.
Have we had complaints?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, they just sounded that we've had complaints tone of voice.
No. Sorry, I'm not trying to...
People have said some things.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make this sound very serious. They're just silly points, really. So, I need to give my sister Ruth a bit of a shout out.
Hello, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. Love you, Ruth. She is a master seamstress and has a YouTube channel and has somehow managed to wangle her way onto an Amazon review list. And every now and then she'll send me something for me to review. And I've had some lovely things. I've had some candles, a gift set, beautiful, really nice set of like micro Dungeons and Dragons dice. But anyway, last week I had 3 packages turn up in one go and I wasn't expecting anything. And Ruth doesn't tell me when she's sending stuff to my address.
It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, absolute surprise. So I go toddling into the living room with these boxes, thinking, oh, what have I got? What have I got? And I open the first box and it's a really nice lavender and something smelling candle. I didn't realise on the label it says something about getting married. But it smells lovely. And I was like, oh, very nice, like a candle. That'll do. So then I opened the second package and it was a roll of aluminium butyl tape. And I was like, okay, that's a slightly odd one, but fine.
Got some draft proofing or lagging to do?
Not that I'm aware of, but it could come in handy. And I did say that you could have it to fix your broken window in your shed.
Well, you said that before I know where the next bit of the story goes.
In the third box was a pack of cleaning cloths. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I put the 3 things together and I thought, Ruth sent me a romantic abduction kit or murder kit. Like, you've got the candle to set the mood, all right? Feeling all romantic, little bit naughty, maybe a little bit kinky. You suggest, oh, should we try some games? Get the butyl tape out, wrap them up a little bit. knock them on the head, shove them in the boot. You've got loads of cloths to clean up after you. No one will ever know.
Oh, I thought you were going, does this cloth smell of chloroform to you? And then use the tape.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought about the cloths as like cleaning equipment. So thank you, Ruth, for the romantic abduction kit. I will put it to good use for its original reasons, not for any nefarious ones.
Are you sure that was meant for you, though? Do I have to give the tape back?
No, you don't have to give any of it back. In fairness, the cloths and the tape were supposed to go to her husband, Neil. But I think maybe Amazon had just got it wrong and saw packages coming to me and sent it all to me. So sorry, Neil, for profiting from your losses. But the cloths are really good quality. They're brilliant. They'll soak up anything.
Do you have to do a review for these now?
I do, yeah. So I've got to do a review and send them to Ruth, and then she'll put them on Amazon, and she'll get a pat on the head and be able to look at the next lot of things to review. So yeah, that's a bit of a random one. So yes, sexy abduction kit. I also need to give Tat Trove a shout out on Twitter. They are brilliant. They're really supportive.
They featured one of your photos, didn't they?
They did. They featured two now. The very sad duck got featured. And the awful statue that Jackson found that I've taken all the credit for on Twitter because he's not on Twitter, so he'll never know.
Until now.
Until now, yeah, because he does listen. Sorry, Jackson. Love you, Jackson. But yeah, thank you, Tatro, for all the shares, all the comments. We really appreciate it. It's never expected, but I love it. Thank you so much. You guys are brilliant.
Where are they on Twitter?
They are at Tat-Trove, so TATTROVE. So yeah, but they're a great profile, and they do little competitions every week for people who found Tat and volunteer it to them. And they do like a little poll every week of where the worst one is picked, and then they do in like an overall annual award ceremony or something like that, I think.
Oh, so you could be in the running.
I could be, actually.
Some champion Tat-Trove Tat.
Yeah, absolutely. Courtesy of Jackson. I probably should admit that to them at some point.
They do runners-up for the sad-looking duck.
I mean, the duck did come runners-up in that week. He didn't win, unfortunately.
Oh, they don't do a sort of also rounds of the best, all the
worst of the worst of the worst. Not that I'm aware.
The unwinners.
Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, another thing I need to say is thanks ever so much, GoPuff.
Who's GoPuff?
GoPuff. They're like an online supermarket. They stock loads of Morrison's stuff and they do deliveries. So when I'm feeling particularly lazy and a little bit flush, I do a shop with GoPuff. I literally did the smallest shop with them I've ever done last week. But the guy that delivered it gave me a bag of extra shopping that I wasn't expecting.
Was he meant to?
Well, it had my name and address on it.
Oh, well, there we go then.
So, it's not his fault. He gave me the bags he was told to give me. But thank you very much for all the free food, GoPuff. The chicken thighs are in the freezer.
Oh, not too shabby.
Yeah, nice punnet of grapes. A few other bits and pieces. Yeah, really pleased. Oh, yeah, and the 2 Mars bars that lasted officially 5 minutes.
And apologies to somebody who didn't get their shopping.
Yeah, sorry about that. I genuinely don't know who that person is, but hopefully they made a complaint and got their chicken thighs replaced.
Score.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I suppose the last thing I want to say is any of you poor folk that listen to us, if you've got any board games that you think would fit into our serialised game section that you want to volunteer as an idea for us to maybe look out for the future.
Recommendations are welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Please let us know. Thank you very much.
Email pod@lightlyused.co.uk. Thanks once again to our fellow Channel 84 shows Who Takes the Socks Off for featuring us on their minisodes Socks On or Off. Karen kicked off the entire minisode run.
I did.
Episode number 1. I was episode 2.
You were.
And then we've had Rob and Tom, respectively, from Channel 84 on the episodes 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah.
Tom got the best question so far.
He really did get a great question, and it was a really fun episode to listen back to, because, we were all online on the same call when those 4 episodes were recorded, so we heard them all live at the time, but listening back, because I think they were funnier.
Do you know, is Rob making public the AI image he's progressively adding to with the results of the Would You Rathers that have been spun on the wheel?
I really hope so. I'm pretty sure they're on the Discord if you guys wanted to join it. There's a great community on there. If you go to the Channel 84 website, you'll find the links.
Are you ready for the Lightly Used up next?
I cannot wait
The further
for
adventures of
lightly
Johnny Turnip.
used news. This is the highlight of my fortnight when we record these. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, crack on.
It's time for lightly used news. And we can put a glossary of regional place names local to the Abergavenny region into the show notes this time, because we probably should have started in the first episode, to be honest. Things like the Mardy,
Twilis Teg.
oh yeah, Lord Hereford's Knob, some regional place names, the Blorange, things like that. So we'll put some links and things in the show notes this
Just so
episode.
you don't think that we're actually making them up. These are real things.
Okay, yeah. And also handy to know, it is one of the few genuine rhyming words with orange.
Ooh.
Man urges public to keep away from Abergavenny's underworld. By Tim Butters in the Abergavenny Chronicle, Monday the 1st of April, 2024. A man who claims to have rediscovered Abergavenny's secret tunnel network is now urging people to stay away after he and his friends made a discovery that will mess with your head. Johnny Turnip, Big Tony and Puerto Rico Paul explained that they set out to trap and tame a fairy, but got a lot more than they bargained for when they accidentally found the entrance to Abergavenny's underworld in the grounds of the castle. Turnip told the Chronicle, "At first, the riddle in the door leading to tunnels had us all stumped." It read, "What is the name of the ancient tribe of Abergavenny, and what mythical animal did they once worship in the deepest wild?" Spelt W-I-L-D-E.
Was it a hedgehog?
Turnip added, "We must have smoked about 10 fags each trying to work that one out. Although I can name all of King Henry VIII's wives and how they died, and Puerto Rico Paul is something of a specialist on the life and works of German existential philosophers, none of us are exactly history buffs." Suddenly, Big Tony surprised us all by shrieking, "I've got it! They didn't spell wild wrong. They were talking about Marty Wilde and the song Abergavenny." To be honest, I had no idea wild was spelled wrong, but then I'm not a reader like Tone. When he's not busy digging ditches or drinking his body weight in lager, you can usually find him with his head buried in Martina coal. Turnip added, "Thank God for Tone's Eureka moment. We knew the lyrics to a song we'd grown up drinking fortified wine to by heart. At one we chanted, 'The ancient tribe is paradise people, and the mythical animal is a red dog.' As soon as we spoke, the door slid open, and from somewhere inside, the song began to blast out from some hidden sound system. The bass was something else. It had a real kick, with Tony taking the lead and merrily shouting, 'He who dares!' We began to descend more steps into a dark and dank tunnel." Turnip explained, "We all began to do a little dance as we walked. Big Tony sort of raised his hand above his head, wiggled his fingers, and did this sort of mincing movement with his feet. For a big man, Tone's always been light on his feet. It's what makes him such a good fighter and dancer. Puerto Rico Paul did a trademark Axl Rose serpentine shuffle, and I just brought up the rear, strutting like John Travolta's character in Saturday Night Fever as he makes his way to the dance floor to teach some punk a lesson." Turnip added, "That tune's a proper upper. Bryn M's version's class, but Marty's is the real deal. I once wrote to Liam Gallagher and asked him why he hadn't done a cover version of it, but he never replied. Probably feels he hasn't got the vocal ability to do it justice and was a bit too embarrassed to say." Nana Turnip, also known as Annie Horror Show, once it played at her funeral. Although she's got a reputation as a moody mare, behind the venom and spite she's got a wicked sense of humour. She wants an old-fashioned funeral procession through the middle of town with horses, carriages, the works. She wants the march to start slow with a brass band playing the Darth Vader tune. Then, someone will get a black rock cock to crow by showing it a photo of Gary Barlow. This will cue the band to start playing Abergavenny. Should be a great day. Shame Horror Show won't be there to see it.
Oh my God.
Turnip told the Chronicle that once the song was over, the three friends walked for what seemed like 5 minutes in complete silence, apart from Tony's laboured breathing, and then a strange apparition blocked their path. Turnip recalls, "It was all fun and games until we saw what looked like a slightly overweight male wearing tracksuit bottoms and a pair of beaten-up Nike Airs. As a semi-professional long-distance runner, I hate to see trainers that have lost their integrity in box fresh appeal. It kind of reminds me of the horror at the end of all things. But that wasn't the worst part. For some reason, this dude had decided to customise his look by wearing a knight's helmet and some sort of medieval body armour. He was also holding an axe, but seemed kind of embarrassed by it. Turnip added. He then said in a sort of voice you wouldn't usually find outside the panto, "Halt! I am Gary the Grey, custodian of the gateway and keeper of the 9 secrets. These paths belong to another. Leave now, if you value both sanity and soul." Turnip said, "I always recognise a nutter when I see one, and this guy was having a major meltdown. However, I needed to tread carefully. Big Tony's got little patience for dramatic types, and if this athletic knight dude kept talking like that, he was probably going to get lamped. So, as a man of tact, I decided to take an innovative approach and play the madman at his own game. I said, 'Let us speak plainly. We've come to capture ourselves a fairy. Now, as soon as we have one of the little people in the bag, we'll be on our way.' He got all uppity at this, raised his axe and shouted, 'I am sworn defender of the Twylith Teg, and you, sirs, are scoundrels whose foul taint I will cleanse the earth and other realms of.'"
The foul taint.
It was strong stuff, but our teachers used to say worse. Either way, it seemed the time for talk was done. Big Tony adopted his fighting stance and was about to kick off when Puerto Rico Paul piped up with, "Hang on a sec. I recognise that voice. It's Manny from the estate." Almost immediately, the athletic knight dude dropped his axe, took off his helmet, and all became clear. To be continued.
Ah, for God's sake! Welcome to Tat Exchange. Do we have an official title for this section?
No, we never have. It's been really weird.
Tat-Off?
It's been awkward trying to write it up in the description.
Yeah.
Just have to describe what we do for this part of the segment. I've just got Featured Tat written in my running order.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah.
We should come up with a name.
Suggestions welcome.
Yeah.
pod@lightlyused.co.uk.
I was going to say names and addresses on a postcard, but, you know, don't need names
Or
and
a carrier
addresses.
prison
Really.
pigeon.
Summon
him. I don't know if I locked the door downstairs before we started recording.
Oh, God. Oh, speaking of locking doors, before we go on to Tat, sorry, this is a total tangent. Jackson managed to get into my flat and out of my flat without me realising the other day. So he'd been to the pharmacy for me to pick up my prescription because...
Did he get some milk tray while he was there?
No, he didn't, unfortunately, but what he delivered helps me survive, so that's more valuable than chocolate. So yeah, so the pharmacy just texted him for some reason to tell him that my prescriptions are ready to collect, so he'll go and get them and he'll drop them off after work.
Stealthily.
Very stealthily. Well, I had fallen asleep on the sofa about 5:30. He texted me about 5:45 saying he was running a bit late, but he wouldn't be long. I woke up at 6:20, saw the message and went, "Oh, don't worry, I've been napping, it's fine." And he was like, "Yeah, I know."
Been and gone.
I was like, what do you mean, you know? He's like, I've been and gone, babe. Your meds are on the side. I was like, what? What the fuck? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you snuck into my flat and snuck back out again. He was like, oh, babe, there was no sneaking. I shouted you like 3 times as I was walking through the door. And I was like, oh my God, I need to start putting the chain on my door at night because clearly I sleep really heavily. I just hope I wasn't snoring. But thanks, Jackson. Love you.
He didn't need to be that much of a ninja then, by the sound of it.
No, definitely not.
He got me knocking over stuff as he went.
Yeah,
You'd be fine.
Yeah.
Whistling the whole time.
I didn't know whether to be like ashamed of myself or shocked or like weirded out. It made me feel a bit insecure because I was like, oh my God, I live on my own. I really, really should make sure I lock the door every night.
Well, at least I know I don't have to worry about making noise when I'm up so early in the mornings.
Oh God, no. If I'm asleep, I'm obviously clearly very asleep.
Yeah, I'll know for the future.
I've got no idea clearly what's going on. Anyway, sorry, random little tangent. Just needed to fit that in there. I'm going to go first this week because Adam went first last week. So, close your eyes, hold your hands out.
Yep.
It's a bit girthier than that. It's not really, I'm lying. It's actually quite a small item. I mean, it is quite hard. You definitely won't be able to bend it. But anyway, here it is in your hands.
Oh, it's a plaque of... I should know this.
You should know this.
It's a plaque of some sort, but I can't remember what ones it is.
Describe it better.
There's some it's an engraved plaque with scroll work. No, I'm gonna have to open my eyes.
Does it have a smell?
Oh, well, is it an incense board thing?
No. Just curious if it has a smell.
Oh, no. You've never smelled it. It's not.
Sniff my brick.
No, I can't work out the shapes on the scroll work.
All right, open your eyes.
Oh, it's the ink stamp.
Yeah, it's postcard stamping block.
Of Pembroke Castle.
That is
I
correct.
was holding it upside down.
You were. Never mind. It doesn't spoil the experience of it, I suppose.
I'm trying to see is there a year on it?
There is no maker's mark. There is no year. There is a scale. 1 inch is 100 feet. I had to take a photo and flip it round and zoom in really hard to see
At least it's pre-metric.
Yes, definitely pre-metric. So it is a metal stamped block of an aerial view of Pembroke Castle, and slightly surrounding the area. So it's got a hill behind it and a river in front of it. And the metal stamp itself is secured to a sturdy wooden block. ASMR. That's interesting.
No, it sounds horrible.
Does it?
I don't know. People might like it.
Well, they might. I don't know. You just don't know what
thing.
people are into. I mean, we do a podcast about stuff we find in charity shops, so you never know. So anyway, yes, it is a printing block. I think it's for postcards.
Yeah,
it seems to be the most practical sort of thing. It is definitely postcard sized. It would have had a label of some sort on the back as a descriptor, but it's all worn away and it's just basically bits of glue and paper stuck to the back of it.
I imagine it would have been just a print of what's on the front, so the printers would know which one they're reaching for.
That is, you're probably right. That's a very practical solution. All right, you're probably right.
Where did you find it, did you say?
I'm pretty sure this came from Greyhound Rescue in Swansea. I paid £9.99 for it, which for me is probably top end of a budget for buying something in a charity shop, unless I really, really, really want it.
But it is definitely antique.
Yeah, it's an old bird. There's black ink. It's obviously been heavily used.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the words on it are really flattened and, the lettering isn't perfect. But I have taken a photo and I've reversed it so you see the image as you would if it was the postcard looking at it. So you can zoom in and look at the names of all the places around it.
We should see if we can find an ink roller or an ink pad somewhere for cheap and see if we can make some of those.
Maybe we should do that.
Get a nice bit of cardstock.
Yeah. So but it's been heavily used and I think it's probably just been retired because some of the lettering has worn away. And it's somehow found its way into a charity shop and now onto my shelves of tat.
Oh, it's an awesome curio.
It is.
Find another.
It is definitely a curio. And once again, I have presented an item where I found no actual information about the item itself.
Oh, there's no maker's mark, you said, on there. Nothing to really go by to find out who would have made it.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is all just a bit of guesswork, really. So what I've done is found some interesting facts about Pembroke Castle for you instead.
Fire away.
So, on the postcard itself, on the stamp itself, I've just highlighted some of the areas that I'm going to talk about now. So the main entrance sits at the bottom of the Westgate Hill, which is between Barbican Gate and the caretaker's cottage. I think it's bottom right-hand side, or is it bottom left-hand side?
Oh, you're looking from the flipped version.
Oh, yeah. Good point. It clearly shows the Old Town Wall borders. Within the area of the castle itself, there is a chapel, a chancery. There's also a dungeon tower, which I'm particularly interested in. I actually really want to go to Pembroke Castle. It looks really interesting.
It's not too far away. We can do this one weekend.
Yeah, we can do it in a day, easily. And the northern hall sits above Wogan Cavern, and the north side of the castle walls face the Pembroke River. The inner bailey of the castle was built around 1093, so there's been established buildings on this site for a long time. The castle was also the birthplace of Henry VII in 1485. Would you like to know a shocking fact about Henry? Well, adjacent to Henry VII.
Shock away.
Henry VII's mother, at giving birth to Henry, was 13 years old. And
It was a very different time.
and she'd been married twice.
A very, very different time.
Yeah, thankfully we don't live there anymore. Pembroke Castle itself, its opening hours are 9:30 to 5:30, with the last entrance at 4:30 p.m, so it gives you a good hour to have a wander around. And they also offer free guided tours on the hour every hour between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Oh, cool.
So we could go, have a little bit of a meander, take some photos, then do a guided tour. And there's loads of exhibits and things there as well to see.
We should take this with us, see if they know.
Oh, that's a really good idea, actually. That is a genius idea. We should definitely do that. And then, sorry, the last fact. Wogan Cavern, you can access via a spiral staircase from the level of the castle. And artefacts have been found there because it's an ongoing archaeological dig. They've found artefacts there that show activity of people living there since prehistoric times. They found mammoth and reindeer bone, as well as stone tools. So people have been there since the beginning of people. And, you know, this is probably the least it's been used in its time since two-legged sapiens were about. So,
That's astonishing.
Really fascinating. I really want to go to Pembroke Castle, and we're absolutely taking the block with us.
Yeah, maybe they can help us, or at least give us an idea of if it was part of their merch, or if it was outsourced or something like that.
Maybe it's like some sort of like missing relic. And they'll be so pleased to see it, and they'll offer us a reward and gold coins and an overnight stay in the dungeon tower or something.
Oh, I was wondering maybe they might just have the rest of the set.
Shush, I'm trying to be fantastical.
Oh, some quality tat. That's going to be hard for me to compete with.
Do you think? I came today with the knowledge and feeling that you were probably going to beat me.
All right. So, this box is so heavy this week.
Are you tricking me this week? Is there actually something in the box?
Oh, it's so heavy.
It does sound heavy.
Get your eyes closed.
Eyes are closed, hands are out. I can hear a plastic bag rustling. There better not be another fucking blobby in there.
I just need to take it out of the carrier bag.
Okay. Are you sure it's not another? I'm actually starting to feel nervous because you've just made me think of Mr. Blobby.
That's definitely not. Hands a little bit further apart and flatter.
Oh, Jesus. Bloody Christ. Now, hang on a second. It's paper, whatever it is. Is this a collection of magazines?
Yes.
Okay. There's no braille. It wouldn't matter because I can't read braille anyway. So, is this something you've had for a long time? Or is it something that you found as a collection and thought, haha, that'll throw her?
No, it's been something I've had for a while. Since maybe I was 13 or 15. You can open your eyes.
Oh, hang on. Is it FHM?
No. Those magazines definitely wouldn't be that light. I think that's just...
They'd probably be stickier too.
If it was that many years worth, that would be the adverts.
Alright, I'm opening my eyes. Ooh!
Did not know I had these, did you?
2000 AD featuring Judge Dredd and Heavy Metal Kids. Oh my god, these are cool! They're not magazines, they're comics. 2000 AD Judge Dredd. Bad Attitude, Kano, back in action. Oh my god, and they were only 60p. 20th March 1993.
Yeah, they're all from about 1993.
Yeah, April 93, okay. April 93. Oh, these are really cool.
But yeah, I was given these when I was about 13 to 15. My dad returned home from work with a stack of these comics. Apparently his mate was getting rid of a load of them. I'm sure there used to be quite a few more. I don't know whether I've lost them.
Oh, you've got a swap.
I had a lot of duplicates. Most of them I gave away to my mate, so I must have missed that one. But I'm keeping both of those now.
It's so cool.
But yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not really into comics. My friends are Dandy and Beano. My grandmother did buy me comics based on the cartoon Ghostbusters. When I was a little bit older, my cousins had a few of the issues of the old black and white Ninja Turtles.
That's cool.
I had to flick through them, but never had a chance to read them properly. But now, they'd probably be worth loads. These are my first proper introduction to comics aimed at an older audience, and certainly the first over-the-top ultra-violence in comics.
Yeah.
Now, a bit of history about them. It's just far too much to say about them, but 2000 AD is a British comic. Started in 1977. My small collection's from 1993. I've since learned that the 90s in particular was quite a low point for the magazine.
No wonder they were being given away then.
The most famous character, Judge Dredd, didn't appear until the second issue. Because violence was doing well in pop culture in the 70s, people being machine gunned down in TV shows and films, the creators knew that audiences would respond pretty well to a violent figure, so they made him a figure of authority. And then taking it to its logical extreme, set it in a dystopian future with a lawman who's got the power to arrest, sentence, and if needed, execute on the spot. Judge, jury, and executioner all in one. At the time, to skirt controversy, because the violence on the side of justice, Dredd could be as violent as they liked. Because the violence is being committed by an officer of the law against criminals, yeah, you can get away with it.
That's that whole ethical question of when is violence not necessarily okay, but if someone does something bad for the right reason, do they deserve to go to jail for it?
Not in Mega City 1.
There's a lot of magazines.
It's not great when life imitates art sometimes.
Yeah, no.
That said, they did write him as Dredd is hero, but also Dredd is villain.
Okay.
The character is a satire of the over-the-top American policing, and they wrote him as a fascist Maggie Thatcher.
Oh, that's amazing.
Actually, RoboCop, hugely influenced by Judge Dredd. In fact, the first mould of RoboCop's helmet was pretty much Judge Dredd had this sort of little
I thought you were going to say Margaret Thatcher's face.
But no, it's only a small collection of comics. I've really enjoyed having them and having gory, action-packed comics. It made me a bit cooler than my friends. As I said, I'm not particularly into comics or graphic novels, but I do recognise the importance of 2000 AD as a British comic and in sort of comic book culture. It's been going since 1977. It's still being published, along with the spin-off Judge Dredd magazine. I've got a couple of those at the back.
Oh, yeah. So you have.
And that's been going since 1990, and there's far too much history of incredibly talented people who've contributed over the years. Many of those then being poached by DC Comics.
Yeah.
In America, they sent headhunters over going, oh, you know, 2000 AD is a bit popular, what's going on there?
It's a very small industry if you're an artist.
Do you want to come in for a meeting? Yes, please. Oh, you're willing to pay me well and look after me instead of treating me like shit.
I'll do that. Yeah.
So that's led to some of the biggest titles like Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, the Arkham Asylum comics, just to name a few Batman ones. Actually, the whole Vertigo imprint wouldn't exist without 2000 AD. There is a 2015 documentary I watched to help research. It's called Future Shock, the story of 2000 AD, available to rent or buy on YouTube. Probably other places too.
Yeah.
Some bonus Tat.
Ooh, love a bonus.
I can't put these forward to be considered. This was just in the Woolworths bag.
A Woolworths bag?
Oh
my God, that's probably from the 80s, that bag itself. Is that the Tat?
Right up your street for value.
That would have been a good Tat item, just the Woolworths bag on its own.
I can't put these forward. We've done badges already, but I found these.
Oh, wow. Oh, you got a Ghostbusters 2 one.
I was really surprised to find that.
The little 7-Up guy.
I support Blue Smarties.
Oh, yeah.
7-Up, Fido Dido, and also from...
Kaleidoscope Discovery Centre?
Oh, I thought that was from Techniquest in Cardiff, which is a science. I've got no idea where that is. Maybe it was a school trip. I'll have to look that
maybe.
up.
Those are really cool. I'm impressed.
I think you might still win this week. That was essentially a one-of-a-kind item. You've got these were published by the thousands and thousands.
Yeah, but how many of them exist now?
I've got 2 of the same.
All right, fair point. All right, I'll take the rarity win. You
Also,
can take the volume win.
Also in the 90s, the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd movie came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I win by default.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that was so bad is that I think the creator of Judge Dredd didn't want to be involved in the film. So you're not going to pay me to be a consultant. No, I'm not fucking coming over there and consulting on the movie. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, absolutely. Stand up for your rights.
Carl Urban movie, fucking kicked ass. And we're back with the 5th and possibly final episode of Nessie Hunt. We have both got quite a bit of equipment in the field at the moment. Karen has got 3 underwater cameras. Oh, sorry, 3 surface cameras. I've got 3 surface cameras plus 2 sonar. We've got a little bit of overlap between one of my sonars, one of Karen's surface cameras. I've had quite a lot of evidence, quite a lot of hits from both. You've started getting a few as well.
I think I've got 10 points, is it? Or 15?
15, sorry.
Yeah, 15. I'm doing so well. I'm so good at this.
Right, so we need to...
Oh, yes, we need to move Nessie.
To
A6F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's basically the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, right, okay. So you've got 2 hits again.
Okay, so we're starting with 2 hits of 10 minutes. First is a sonar. 60 points. I had 595 points. You had 15. Large hump shapes released to press by inexperienced sonar operator. The horizontal fuzzy shapes are temperature layers and or plankton being studied as part of the project's ongoing limnological work. Either way, let's move on.
Okay.
And we had a surface camera evidence. 50 points. Getting there. Nearly at 750.
I currently feel like the UK in the Eurovision Song Contest.
So, Loch Ness Bureau movie film.
Whoa.
I'm guessing investigative bureau. Obtained several short sequences of movie film which needed considerable imagination to interpret as large animals. However, they did collect large numbers of eyewitness accounts. Keep card. Were there any of these options? Oh, it was in one of the other versions of the game, wasn't it? You could send stuff off to NASA to be analysed.
Yeah, that's right.
Shame we weren't playing the extra hard. I would send it off so they could have a look at how big those fish were. And also, before my rounds, rolling my dice, I'm buying
spend some dollar.
An underwater camera because I've got my 3 surface cameras in the field. Underwater camera, that is £50 to purchase.
Into the bonk.
And I will put that from Abergavenny Castle with a slight overlap.
Ooh. Lovely.
On one of my surface cameras.
Right, and now you get to roll the dice like a good little boy.
Unos. I get bugger all.
Good. 3 for me. 1, 2, 3. Nothing.
But we have to move
Nessie.
B.
4D.
B4D. Oh! Sonar hit.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. I count this on the shore. So I get sonar evidence. 100 points.
You've got to have won by now.
Hang on, I might have let me just said.
Où est la calculatrice?
Yeah, I failed. That's 595.
Just filling the dead air. La la la. Filling the dead air.
I've definitely done it.
Oh.
But my numbers seem to have stuck on my keypad.
What an anticlimax for me.
805 points.
You smashed me.
For now.
I stand defeated to your superior knowledge and evidence gathering, you absolute toss.
You might still have a load more money left than me.
Does money matter?
I don't know. I'm sure it might have played a part in it.
It's not Monopoly.
I've got
How much you got?
100.
Well, you know what this shows? Those that go hunting for Nessie and don't use equipment end up with enough money to go on a lovely all-inclusive somewhere warm. And those who spend money don't find the Loch Ness Monster, but they do get 805 points. Because they're cheating bastards. He's not really.
It feels a very hollow victory, I'll be honest.
It
This was
feels
so
a little-
complicated to play.
It feels a little anticlimactic, if
Yeah.
I'm honest. Like, maybe if it was more than just the two of us and, you know, we actually understood the rules.
Yeah, if this wasn't as thinky, somebody's put a lot of thought into trying making this somewhere between Monopoly and Risk and a bit of Mousetrap. It's too much going on.
It is a lot
Way too much.
much brain power required.
I
But-
think it needs a dungeon master to keep track of all the logistics.
Yeah, that would help. Like if you had a separate person who acted as the banker and to remind people what they need to do each turn, then that would probably work as well. But it is the most boring part of being involved in the game is the one who has to go, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're not going to do this now.
Especially as I'm terrible at maths, this keeping track of the scores has been an absolute pain in the arse.
Oh, I kept it easy for you.
And also the rules we were playing by simplified it as much as possible, and still I wasn't sure if we've been playing this right at all. But awful lot
very
of thought has
tactile.
gone into it.
Yeah.
It makes sense logically. It's just a lot, and if we played it again, I suppose we could get through it a lot quicker. Now we know really.
Yeah, now we know the
what we're
basics of what we should be
doing.
doing and when.
And definitely 3 or more players
Yeah,
would be more fun.
I think so. But on the whole, worth the tenner. I mean, just aesthetically, really.
Yeah.
Just the pieces. You know, all of the cards are good quality. The money is better quality paper than Monopoly paper. The clear plastic sheeting stuff. Yeah, what do they call them?
The transparencies.
The transparencies. These things.
They've
pretty
lasted
cool.
from 1986, 1987,
Yeah.
and they're both very, very clear. The printing's lasted, the nice crisp edges on them.
Yeah, you could, you know,
Yeah, they're-
Ninja Star somebody with a couple of them sellotaped
They've-
together. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. The
And-
game's good.
also more impressive, there's 2 entire sets of the transparency that haven't actually been pressed out of the A4
That's
piece
true.
that they're in, so they're completely unused, the yellow and the green sets.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so the quality of the pieces as well is really nice. Actual colour printing on the back of these cards, but both sides of the cards. What were some of the ones we didn't actually look at, like biological evidence?
Oh
What
yeah,
have
we
got
didn't look
here?
at any biological stuff, did we? Oh well, there we go. Anyway, so that is Nessie Hunt, which is produced by
Search Glen Limited.
Search Glen Limited, circa 1986.
And which charity shop was it from? Did you get this?
This is from the Greyhound Rescue in Swansea.
And a tenner.
Yeah. And, you know, even if I never play it again, the box is so aesthetically pleasing that it is on top of my Tat shelves in pride of place, so I can see it all of the time when I'm sat in the lounge. Well, I recommend the game.
Yeah,
It's
once we
good
got the
fun.
gist of it, it was good.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the arse to get your head around, but yeah, once you got going,
Yeah.
it wasn't so bad.
Oh, I tell you what, I recommend to anybody that gets hold of this game or is considering getting hold of this game, just do a quick YouTube search to see if there's any like run-throughs of the game of people playing it online, because that would probably get you up and started and going a lot faster than trying to decipher the rules that aren't in the plainest of English. But yeah, brilliant. Well played, good sir. Shake my hand.
Yes, I won! Suck it, bitch!
Bastard.
I'm such a good winner.
And I'm such a bad loser. I'm going to give you a big slap later.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Now, you know last week you brought a ridiculous sized book, absolutely taking the piss with last episode's Bibliotat.
Yes.
Two can play at that game.
Oh, Christ almighty. This is a big old beast, isn't it? The Pythons Autobiography by the Pythons.
Yep, with the help of Bob McCade, a writer, broadcaster, and film critic. Also the interviewer and recorder of the Pythons in their own words. Published in 2003, and Graham Chapman, for his part, he spoke to David Sherlock, friend, associate, and companion, They wrote many projects together, reading the credits, including the movie Yellowbeard, and he also spoke to Graham's brother, Dr. John Chapman, and his wife, Pam Chapman. It starts with the Pythons each recalling how they met each other. Each of them has a chapter where they talk about their childhoods, going to school, and their early memories. And that's how each person stops having their own chapter, or sub-chapter. From then on, it covers the university, when they all met each other, started meeting each other in cliques, and what they did pre-Flying Circus. The bulk then is Flying Circus era, and related TV series and films. It also covers Graham Chapman's death in October 1989, also their reunions in the years following, attempts at another movie, a bit of a Rashomon, like conflicting memories of who was really into it. The one consistent through it, John Cleese definitely wasn't into doing another movie. Not at all. Loads and loads of photos and images. So if you're into comedy history, if you haven't got the book already, I'm sure you'll appreciate the photos. There's flyers from individuals, early shows and troops, some from personal collections. And as you pointed out, straight away, keeping with the tradition of Monty Python books, it's an extremely impractical size, won't fit on your shelf.
Yeah, it's enormous. And it definitely won't fit on a shelf. Not even on its side.
Yeah, so I thought, two can play the piss-taking book size game.
It is definitely a coffee table sized book, isn't it? It's like one of those ones where you have out along with like the Britannica Encyclopedia.
Oh, I thought you meant you could just put some legs on it and use it as a coffee table.
I mean, you genuinely could use it as a side table. It would make a good occasional table, actually.
It fit the fourth one in a nested table.
Yeah, like the second size down, not the biggest one, the second one. This is great.
Yeah, I've had that for absolutely years. I don't think I've actually made it all the way through the book.
I mean, it's a lot of pages.
I think it's about 840 pages, I think.
No, I was 840 pages last week.
How did I remember that?
I have no idea, but you're short about 490 pages. 359 pages you've got.
But they're easily a third as big as the pages in your book, so that definitely makes up for it.
Yeah. Maybe we should weigh them. We could, decide ultimately who wins en masse.
We'd need an actual scales for somebody to stand on, not just a kitchen scale.
That's true. That is
huge.
true. This is great. There's so many pictures in here as well, and little side bits that you can read. It's not like reading big, massive, hugely wordy chapters. If you're not into reading big, huge, wordy chapters, it's nice to have the little sketches and distractions that just draw your eye to different areas. You can absorb knowledge in small parts. It's kind of my sort of that I'd read this.
It does have book at bog time potential, but it is the size of the cistern.
It's bigger than my cistern. You'd have to put this on the floor next to the loo, and that's not healthy.
So we've been doing this for about 5 episodes now. Where's our money? Have you met Arthur yet?
Yeah, I have actually met him.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah? So?
There's no grant money.
That's the whole point of us doing this.
Yeah, you remember when you introduced yourself to him and he introduced himself as Arthur, call me Art.
Yeah.
And then you tuned out of your head and went into your Homer Simpson monkey crushing symbols moment where you were thinking of other people you could name as Art or other arts that were popular, like Art Garfunkel.
There's Art Bell who did a radio show in America.
Oh, you thought of another one.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, so remember that?
Yeah.
He was introducing himself. His name is Arthur Grant. Art Grant. And he asked if you liked books. He said, it looked like you were staring at the wall behind him for a few seconds, and then started shaking his hand, asked him to send you all the forms and you'd get right on it, and then you just hurried off, all excited. I mean, you didn't even know how a grant worked in Nessie Hunt either, particularly on the last episode.
That's a game. So we're not getting any money.
No, there was never any money. There was never any money. He was literally just saying hello. Feel good about that?
I feel a bit stupid now. So that's another show done over, as it were. and another board game for us next episode.
Hooray!
With our first guest.
Hooray!
Find out who we're going to have with us on the next episode of Lightly Used. Thank you very much for listening, and any suggestions for the name of the Tat Exchange feature, also welcome. pod@lightlyused.co.uk. Send anything you have our way for suggestions.
As well as board game ideas as well.
We are part of the Studio Channel 84 network, along with the variety show, Untitled Trek, and Who Takes the Socks Off. Find out more at channel84.co.uk, and you can find pictures of everything we've discussed on the show today on our show blog, lightlyused.co.uk.
You can also find us on the socials, primarily Instagram and Twitter, because I don't do the Book of Faces. We are @_lightlyused, all one word, and you will find a link to our Discord on lightlyused.co.uk if you'd like to come and join our very friendly and open community.
And same as last episode, thank you very, very much to everybody on Good Pods for all the lovely reviews and everything nice that you've said about us. We've done quite well in the charts there, surprisingly.
Stonkingly well, I think, is probably accurate.
Thank you very much, dear listener.
Yeah,
You're awesome. We love you
are
loads.
Fantastic. We adore you with all of our hearts. Mwah!
Adam and Karen have been lightly used. Visit lightlyused.co.uk for more. To get in touch, email pod@lightlyused.co.uk.
Oh, sorry. I was going for like a sexy introduction then. Hang on, I'll try again. Stop smiling. Think more Stewart. Okay.
There you go, to reference for Horn.
Is there anything wrong with that?
This was a Studio Channel 84 network show. To find more, head over to channel84.co.uk now.